guys, and welcome to my channel at Luminous-Blue Studios. I'm a professional product designer by trade and DIY enthusiast by night, specializing in ultra-modern, lightweight and sustainable furniture items. So today I had the idea of designing something for my family for this festive season. In this video, I'm going to show you the design process that I went through. I'm Matt Otto, and let's get into this. So looking around on Amazon, I was very interested in buying my family a gift. I stumbled across some table tennis products and thought, would be a nice Christmas present. They were kinda expensive for what they were, and being a designer, I knew I could make something for a much more fair price. I had a lot of time on my hands since I was on vacation, so I decided to take this up as a project. I did some basic research and found the standard dimensions for the table tennis table. Firstly, using my prior knowledge of materials, I started to design the legs using a combination of 0.8 inch or 20mm square bars and 0.4 inch or 10mm diameter hollow round bars for the base frame. I already had a few ideas in mind, and the nice thing about parametric design is once I've defined all the dimensions in the 2D workspace, I can always go back and change them. So from the drawing, I started to generate my 3D shape. I knew I would only be designing this for personal use. So once the base was completed and the table added, I could derive a parts list and fill in the trivial design features when it came to assembling. Then on this project, I thought, you know what? Why not go the extra mile? I decided to add all the screws and nuts and bolts for modeling purposes. I added all the joints so that I could have different positions to render from, so I could show you guys what the final product would look like. So I think the designer part came out in me because I had designed this in such a way that it could be easily packed up, transported or stored. Or even when it was assembled, the table could still be folded up and would still take as minimal possible storage space. So if you do want to take this design to put it into manufacturing, you could absolutely do that. Finally, we did add the actual part of the table to the base. According to my research, the table width should be around 5 foot or 2.74 meters wide and 9 foot or 1.525 meters long. There is an additional requirement that the ball should bounce 9.1 inches or 23 centimeters when dropped 11.8 inches or 30 centimeters from the board. However, I don't think this is necessary to test, especially if I'm using this for only DIY. A simple Google search would tell me that most table tennis tops are all manufactured from fiberboard, and it goes too far as to say that for home use, MDF might even be an option. However, I think MDF might be too heavy, so I'm going to make this out of fiberboard. So once I finished programming all the joints, I opened the table 90 degrees and realized that the legs that are supporting the table when deployed or in open position do not touch the ground. So this brings me back to what I said in the beginning about properly defining all your measurements in the 2D workspace. All I had to do was make some minor adjustments and the model automatically updated. So one thing that I did realize is that the tables did not line up perfectly when the table also was opened. So I slightly adjusted the position of the mounted boards and the tables lined up perfectly when opened. This is exactly why we design, so that we can make these mistakes in the model workspace and avoid them in reality. So towards the end of the project, I did realize that I had forgotten to add the casters to my design. Luckily, the manufacturer provided me with model designs, so I could just insert them into my work environment. Again, some minor adjustments were done, and I just had to make sure everything lined up. And once the table had been opened, it was sitting exactly parallel to the ground with the correct height. Finally, the last step in our design process, and quite frankly my favorite, is adding the appearance to the model. Based on previous research, these tables are either blue or green, separated by a white line and wide edge banding. So in this design, I decided to model one of each color and see which was the most aesthetically pleasing. I did some renders through the cloud network just to demonstrate what exactly this product would or should look like once it has been fully assembled. Everything is to specification to international standards. Should I ever want to mass produce this product, I could just dig into my files, head into the manufacturer workspace, and design fabrication processes. But because it's DIY, I think I'll just end the process here. Guys, that concludes my montage of the design process for my table tennis table. I would like to give a big thank you for watching through if you made it to the end. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. We have many videos lined up. This is part 1 of a part 2 series documenting the design process all the way to the manufacture and final assembly for DIY enthusiasts.